Hey guys, it's Jamie, and in this video, we are going through step-by-step how to schedule appointments in Dentrix. This is for existing patients. I'm going to show you two different ways. We're going to talk about how to schedule an appointment from scratch, and then also how to schedule continuing care appointments. So when they're in your chair and you're scheduling their next hygiene visit, how to get that set up in the most efficient way possible. We're also going to look at some easy tips on how to find open times in your schedule. So let's get right into it. Okay, so the first part we're going to go through is just scheduling an appointment for an existing patient. So to do this, you're going to be in the Dentrix appointment book. The quickest, easiest way to do this is to find an open spot on the schedule and double click on the time spot. From here, you can select your patient, and this pulls up the appointment information box. So this is where everything is entered into the patient's appointment. So we're going to run through this entire screen so that you know exactly what everything means on the appointment information box. So up here is the provider. So it's going to automatically default to the patient's primary provider. If this is a hygiene appointment or it's scheduled with someone else, you can change it by clicking this arrow and select the provider that they're seeing for this appointment. I typically don't set this until after I set all of this because depending on what you schedule this appointment for, it may end up resetting back to the patient's primary provider. So I like to put in the appointment reason before I change the provider, just a little tip. Additional provider, this is, if this is a hygiene appointment and then the doctor's doing an exam, you can add an additional provider as well. The appointment reason, this is what they're coming in for. This is the procedure codes that are going to be attached to this appointment. So you can pull the procedure codes three different ways. So the initial box, if you click this, it has your initial reasons. These are typically things like exams, x-rays, cleanings, fluoride treatment, things like that. These are customizable though. We can go through in another video how to edit your initial reasons. But for the purpose of this video, we'll just go through and you can just select this patient's coming in for exam, bite wings, and a prophy, and click OK. This is going to be attached to a continuing care type. We're going to go more into the continuing care in a little bit. And I also have a full video that breaks down all of continuing care. So for now, we'll just click yes. And it attached their procedures to this appointment. Now, the other two things are the treatment. So if you're scheduling an appointment for treatment that has already been treatment planned, you can click this and it will have their treatment plan in here where you can just click what they're coming in for, click close, and it adds those to the appointment. The last thing is this miscellaneous. From here, you can click this and it will pull up every dental code. So you can sort through on the categories on the side, or you can just use the search bar to type what it is that you're looking for. If you're scheduling a crown, you could just type crown and it pulls up all of those. This is great for if, say, they're there for a limited exam, they haven't had a treatment plan put together yet, but you want to put the actual procedure codes into the appointment. This is very useful for this. So once you have all of your reasons in here, you can see it added them into the appointment description. That is what will be viewed right here on the appointment. You can edit this. You can type in whatever you want. You can remove this and just say exam and prophy if you want to. But if you edit anything in here, it will reset this back. So say I remove this, it resets that right back. So just a quick tip, if you add any notes into the description, it can reset them very easily. So typically for notes, I would recommend adding them to this note section down here. We're going to get to that. This middle section is all about the appointment, the date, time, their status. So right here is the appointment length. Based on the amount of time in the procedure code, it will automatically pull the appointment length into here. You can click in here and edit this if you want to. You can also click this arrow and change the amount of time needed here. Over here, this is the amount, the dollar amount for this appointment based on what is in your system, what the fees attached to these procedures are. It will automatically pull this in here. If you utilize the eligibility through Dentrix, it will show you eligibility for this appointment type. Staff, if you click this, you can enter a staff member. A lot of offices will put the staff member that scheduled this appointment. Not necessary to do. You can or you don't have to. Status, this is where we mark confirmed, if they're here, they're ready. These are also customizable for your office. So you can go in and change what all of these say. But from here, you can set them as confirmed or that you left a message, scheduled. This will add them to your different appointment lists. So fixed just means this is their appointment time. Open and ASAP will put them on your appointment lists. which we're going through appointment lists in detail in another video. But those are useful if you want to put this patient on a priority list. Maybe you want to move them up to a sooner appointment. You can easily do that. Type, you can change this from general, high production, medium, or low production if you want to. If your office utilizes that, you can certainly do that here. And then back to the actual appointment date and time. This is the operatory that they will be scheduled in, the date that they're scheduled, and the time. And this pulled this information in directly from where I clicked on the schedule. Now, Dentrix Pay, we're going to get into all of the ledger and payment information in another video, so we're not going to worry about that for right now. And then notes, down here, you can click insert date line. You can type a note about the patient or about this appointment right in here. On this side panel here, it will show, once you make this appointment, the date that it was created, the last date that it was changed. If you go in and edit this appointment, it will update this. History, once you create this appointment, it will show you every time that an edit was made to this appointment. If you click history, it will show you each time something was changed. So whether you added procedures to it, whether you changed the appointment date or time, anything like that will all be able to be viewed in the history. This more info button that pulls up more information about the patient. It will have all of their appointments, their continuing care, their personal information, all of that. Patient info, that pulls up their family file. Other appointments, that will pull up any other appointments that they have scheduled, and also their treatment plan down here at the bottom. Insurance claim info will pull in information about their insurance claims. Right now, we're not going to get too in the weeds with this. So we're going to have a whole separate video about insurance and insurance claims. Schedule next, that will automatically schedule this appointment, which you can see it put it here, and pull up another appointment screen. So that's for scheduling another future appointment. Wait will call. If you click this, it will remove this appointment and it will put this patient on the unscheduled list. That means the patient is moving their appointment and we're going to wait and we'll call this patient. Find, this is really useful for finding appointment times. We're going to go into detail on finding appointment times, the most efficient way to do that. But you can click that here. Pinboard, that will add this appointment to the pinboard. So when I click this, you can see it added this over here to my pinboard. That way I can now click and drag it wherever I need this appointment to go. There's a check mark here for lab cases. I'm going to have a whole video on lab cases in the lab case manager, but just for the purposes of this, if you click this, this will add a symbol to the appointment so that you know that the lab case has been checked into the office. Patient lab cases, that's going to pull up all of their lab cases. Again, we're going to go much more into detail on this in another video. Down here, we also have these other check mark boxes. So these can all be changed based on what you want in your office. And they're there to let you know what is needed or what has been done for this appointment. So if it was a new patient welcome call done, that means we called and welcome the patient to the office. If the office needed to reschedule, patient rescheduled, x-rays were requested, etc. You can customize these for what best fits your office. I had someone ask recently about how to flag if a patient is due to update their health history form. This is a great place for that. So you can have a check mark box that says needs health history update, and you can just have it checked. So that way, when the patient comes in, whoever's checking them into the office can see, oh, they need this very quickly at a glance. So that's a great place for things like that. I did want to go back up to this continuing care box up here also. So we're going to go really deep into continuing care in another video, but I just want to mention it here because it is important when you're scheduling appointments. So if you're scheduling any type of Recare appointment, periodontal maintenance, anything that's attached to your continuing care, it needs to also be in this box. So when you schedule this, let me remove all this and I'll show you. So I'll remove that just to show you when I add these procedures in, you click OK, it automatically adds them to my continuing care. You can use this arrow to see what's highlighted. That's what's selected for this appointment. It's important that these are on here and that this box is checked for the continuing care to auto update. So for now, the most important thing to know is whatever they are scheduled for today needs to also be in this continuing care box, and this use reason to auto update CC also needs to be checked. If you want more information on continuing care in a lot of detail, I will link the video that's all on continuing care in the description, so check that video out. Once everything is set up on here, you're just going to click OK, and it scheduled the appointment right here. So now I want to go through scheduling appointments specifically for continuing care. So patients that are in your chair right now, say for a hygiene visit, and you're scheduling their next hygiene visit. I want to walk through what that looks like. To schedule a patient's next Recare appointment from today, when this patient is here, they're scheduled for their exam, bite wings, and prophy. If I click in here, you can see all of those things are tagged to their appointment and also in their continuing care. So when I complete this appointment, I go to set it complete. I see that these are all the procedures I did and click post set complete. The first thing it will ask me is, do you want to create a continuing care appointment, a new one? If you click yes, Dentrix will automatically assume what their next appointment is based on what is saved in their continuing care. So this is the quickest and easiest way to schedule a patient's next Recare appointment. So because this patient's continuing care is already set up, Dentrix knows that at today's appointment, we did an exam, bite wings, and a prophy. So next time in 6 months, which you can see, it pulled in the date. This is 6 months and a day from now, but it did not tag bite wings because it knows that we took bite wings today, and that interval is set for 1 year. So it automatically pulled all the information in that I need to schedule this appointment. I don't have to go in and add everything. So you can click OK and just set this date and time. But what I really like to do is just click Pinboard. That automatically puts this appointment on the Pinboard, it's over here, and pulls my calendar out 6 months and a day. So then I can flip through the schedule and find a time that works for the patient because they're in my chair, I'm talking to them. I can say, does Monday, July 20th at 9 a.m. sound good? They say yes. Then I can just click and drag this into this time spot and click schedule appointment, yes. Very easy, you don't have to go in and add everything from scratch every time with your hygiene Recare appointments. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about is finding open times. Sometimes this can be really challenging, especially if your office is really busy. So there's tools inside Dentrix to do this. So this top icon up here, this little magnifying glass with the time, it says find new appointment time. If you click this, it pulls up this screen where you can type in all of the parameters that you're looking for this appointment. So provider that you want, the operatory that you want, the days that the patient's available. So say a patient says, I'm only available on Mondays. You can uncheck everything else and leave only Mondays. Starting today, I need a 60-minute appointment. You could change this, if you need a 90-minute appointment, you can search by time block. So if you have perfect day scheduling set up, you can search just by that to find the next available time block. If you don't have perfect day scheduling set up, I will leave a link in the description for a video that shows you exactly how to set that up. I highly recommend it. It really helps make your practice and your scheduling so much more efficient. So once you have everything set, the parameters that you want for the appointment that you're searching for, you click search. And you can see it pulled up available times. You can scroll through, you can click these and click select, and it will pull you out to that time so that you can schedule the appointment. So a quick tip, if you're having trouble finding an appointment time that works for your patient, sometimes narrowing those parameters down a little bit helps make it a little easier than just flipping through day by day and looking for appointments. So that is how you set up appointments for existing patients in Dentrix. I hope that this video helped you navigate that and make this process a little bit easier. I put out new Dentrix tips and tech tutorials every week. So if that's something you're into, then subscribe to this channel and I will see you guys next week.